OchoCinco Johnson was thrown into the spotlight while playing football at Oregon State. From there, the Cincinnati Bengals selected him in the second round of the 2001 NFL Draft with the 36th overall pick. His disastrous short-lived marriage to reality star Sharelle Rosado and his arrest for domestic battery caused his NFL career to come to an end. These days, people are way more interested in his personal life, including his relationship with realtor, Selling Tampa star, and Evelyn lookalike Sharelle Rosado. Their relationship appeared to be picture perfect, but as the years passed by, it was clear that their romance was a hot, stankin' mess.
I cheated on my ex-husband with Chad.
To give you better insight into why this relationship was doomed from the start, we have to take you back to 1998, when Chad welcomed his daughter, Jakira. 4 years later, in 2002, his son, Chad II, was born. The following year, his daughter, Sade, was born. In 2005, his daughter, Shael, was born, followed by a son named Savvy, who was born sometime around 2010. That same year, he appeared on his own VH1 dating show called OchoCinco, The Ultimate Catch. After the premiere, Chad caught a lot of flack for only choosing 2 black women. He apologized to those he offended, but he also brushed off all the hate. He said the people who knew him knew he liked all women. He added, "I'm all over the place, and I want to experience everything. There's nothing wrong with black women at all." He went on to say that a beautiful woman was okay, but he had been with a lot of beautiful women who had nothing else to offer, and he was looking for someone with more substance. For those who thought he just wanted to continue playing the field, he made it clear that because of his lifestyle, he needed someone to help him complete everything he had going on. He ended up spoiling the reality show by tweeting about his new woman, Basketball Wives star Sharelle Rosado. They got married in July 2012, and their divorce was finalized in September 2012. Grand opening, grand closing. From there, he and his then-girlfriend, Crystal Bates, welcomed a baby girl in 2015, and a paternity test proved he fathered another child with a girl named Alexia in 2016. In case you lost count, by that point, he was a father of 7 children, and the only woman he married was the one who didn't have any of his children. Many assumed he had commitment issues, and their theory was somewhat confirmed during Chad's 2016 interview with Sports Illustrated. He told the publication that monogamy and dealing with the same woman over and over again was getting old. He added, "It's like cooking food. There's only so many ways to prepare that meal and season it. At some point, you get tired of that meal." Meanwhile, Sharelle, who was a mother of 3 children from previous relationships at the time, spotted Chad at a track meet that her daughter and one of his daughters were attending. She told Us Weekly that she had a crush on him for years. She considered him her favorite athlete, and she described him as her ideal man. So, she decided to make the first move. A woman making the first move doesn't always mean a relationship is doomed. However, we've done enough of these red flag videos to know that whenever a woman steps into the role of the pursuer in a heterosexual relationship, things rarely end well. Anyway, Sharelle said Chad posted a cute Instagram story of him walking across the field, and she responded to the story with heart eye emojis. Chad responded back to her in 2 seconds. They exchanged numbers, started chatting, and FaceTimed each other. They developed a deep bond, but they eventually stopped communicating. They reconnected sometime in 2020, with some sources stating their reconnection happened in January of that year. There was just one little problem. Sharelle was married to a man named John Treese Robinson, who's the father of her youngest son. That didn't stop her from going out with Chad, though. He took her to McDonald's on their first date. After they ate, he told her, "Sweetie, they got some nice rooms, $30 rooms at the Executive Palace. I ain't really trying to spend no money like that. What you trying to do?" From there, they went to the budget motel and knocked boots. During an episode of the Nightcap podcast with Chad and Shannon Sharp, Chad also made it clear that he liked to take the quick and easy route to the bedroom.
"I ain't got time to be going on 3 dates. I ain't got time to be no 90-day rule. I ain't got time for that shit."
During an episode of her Humble Baddies podcast, Sharelle said she grew emotionally and physically attached to Chad after she mentally checked out of her marriage. She also revealed that her marriage was in shambles because her husband allegedly slept with one of her friends. Once Sharelle admitted she was a cheater, pumpkin eater, online users worried that she would do the same to Chad. One social media user wrote, "The red flags! Ocho, you don't have to touch a fire to see that it's hot." Others called Chad and Sharelle 2 peas in a pod, since Chad also had issues with fidelity in the past. For those reasons alone, many people put an expiration date on Chad and Sharelle's romance. John Treese filed for divorce in August 2020, and Chad and Sharelle went public with their romance 3 months later. During a November 2020 episode on the I Am Athlete podcast, Chad said Sharelle was different from the other women he had been with, and that's how he knew she was the one. But could the serial baby daddy really be ready to settle down with a self-proclaimed cheater? During an episode of the I Am Athlete podcast, he said his video games came first before any woman, and sometimes even before his kids, because gaming paid his bills. However, he knew a woman was special if she called him in the middle of a game, and he hit the pause button just for her. Although Sharelle resided in Tampa and Chad lived in Miami, Sharelle said they made time to see each other every 3 days. But even when Chad wasn't physically with her, he made his presence known by surprising her with a Chanel bag every time she closed on a new real estate property. They were still trying to decide where they would settle down. They started building a house in Miami, and Sharelle said she would continue to travel back and forth between Miami and Tampa until further notice. Naturally, people still weren't on board with this new relationship due to Chad's rocky past. However, Sharelle told Page Six that she thought Chad was a great person. She said, "People go through things. People make mistakes, and you learn from them. If you base things off of mistakes that people made, then you'll never make it in life. Nobody is perfect." She went on to describe him as a great father, a great person, and a great soulmate. Sharelle shared the news of their engagement in January 2021 after a year of dating. There was just one little problem. Her divorce from John Treese still wasn't finalized. Apparently, Chad wasn't taking her seriously anyway. A month after she announced their engagement, he appeared on Bussin' It With the Boys podcast and explained how he didn't like dating models and preferred to date women with an athletic background. He also said he enjoyed raising his 7 children with 6 different women. It was an odd conversation for a man to have after being newly engaged. Her divorce was finalized in June 2021, but her decision to have an affair still caused some strain when it came to co-parenting with her ex.
It does affect a lot. We don't communicate at all.
Yeah.
I bought my son a phone. That's how we communicate.
During the summer of 2021, she started filming the Netflix reality show Selling Tampa, which followed her company Allure Realty, an all-black, all-female real estate firm in Florida. While she celebrated the debut of her new show, she also found out she and Chad were expecting a baby girl. She gave birth to her 4th child and Chad's 8th in January 2022. Sharelle told Page Six, "Our hearts are full and our family is complete." After giving birth, Sharelle returned to her duties as a realtor and reality star. As for Chad, he tweeted, "I manifested the life I've always dreamed of, and that's becoming a stay-at-home dad." A year later, they got engaged again. According to People magazine, their January 2021 engagement that Sharelle announced wasn't official. People wondered what kind of cuckoo bird would fake an engagement, complete with an engagement ring and a wedding band. It was at this point that people really started to side-eye Sharelle. Either way, Chad presented her with a 7.5-carat engagement ring, and she said yes. By the time 2024 rolled around, everyone was anticipating their wedding since Chad had revealed they planned to tie the knot in 2024 in the Bahamas. But during a June 2024 episode of the Nightcap podcast, he opened up about some problems they had at home.
Like she be talking to me crazy, like raising her voice at me, like, and it's like because she like the breadwinner, like she talked to me any kind of way.
People couldn't tell whether he was being serious or if he was joking. But then, just 4 months later, Sharelle hopped on Twitter to confirm that they were no longer together. In her tweet, she wrote, "Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man, ladies. We don't want him, girl." It looks like Chad wants to work things out, but he told Shannon that Sharelle had him blocked. While some hope these two will figure things out, others aren't surprised that their relationship imploded right before our eyes.